Another point to reiterate was the discussion of the split screen mode. Now, split screen is normally used to just allow you to have two sessions, but some people like to use more sessions, and you can use this then to keep up to 9 sessions available for all the different items that you might be working on. So you might be editing in one session, you might be invoking utilities in another session, you might be looking at data output in another session. So all of these things represent the ability to multitask in the types of things that you want to do. So the split is normally PF2. And so when we move the cursor to wherever we want it to be, we can hit PF2 and we will split the screen at that point. We can readjust where it's split by just simply moving the cursor to a different location and hitting PF2 again. This will not cause multiple new sessions to be created. The split simply creates two sessions. If we wanted to create more than two sessions, we would use the split new variation, which will then allow us to keep adding new screens as we want to generate new options. We can also directly go to a particular screen by using the start command. But the start command requires that we know what the identification of the panel is that we want to invoke. So this is something that would rarely be used unless you are quite familiar with a particular function that you are trying to invoke. The swap screens also provides us the means then of moving between these various sessions. So we can use the PF9 to swap between our various sessions. We can use the swap next command to simply move through them in order. And we can use a swap list to identify all of the different screens that we have open so we can select the one that we would like to see. The screen name is an option that we have that allows us to name a specific screen. So that way we can select that directly if we want to go to that particular screen. So these are some of the options that we have available then in order to maintain multiple sessions when we're operating with ISPF. In this example, you can see a screen split right down the middle. And so when we position the cursor there, we get the line dividing the two screens. And so this now is going to give us the opportunity to use two separate sessions to perform different independent actions of each other. The PF9 key, or the swap, is used then to move the cursor between these two. Now, we can certainly move the cursor using the arrow keys, but the PF9 key is intended to simply allow us to move between the command line easier if we have to just switch very quickly. In addition, we can use the list command as well, and notice in this case here we would specify the list with the PF9, which is the swap, and then we would get the swap list as shown at the bottom of this display. And in this instance, you can see that what we have is we have 8 panels open. You can see the names that are associated with some of those panels. So we could directly select those if we wanted to go there. The other choice is that we can simply identify the screen that we want to go to on the swap command itself. The current screen that we are currently on is the one that's identified with the asterisk. In looking at the split screen and swap functions, again, as we saw before, where wherever we place our cursor, that is going to be where we end up splitting the screen. So in this case, if I move the cursor down and I hit my PF2, then I split the screen at this level. And as we said, we can easily move the cursor anywhere else that we like, hit PF2 again, and we will split the screen again. Now, if I wanted to have more than two sessions active, I can use the split new command, and this could also be set up as a PF key, and this would then allow me the opportunity to create more sessions. If I want to see all the screens that I have open, then I can do the swap list command in order to see what all the various commands are that I currently have active. In this case, you'll notice that none of the screens have names, although I could use the screen name command in order to assign a name to a particular screen. So I can type in the screen name, and then I can give it a name, and we'll just call it panel 1, for example. And now what I do is that when I do a swap list, you'll notice that the panel option that I have here shows that panel 1 now happens to be the third session that I had open. So you can see that I have the 3 of them here now that are going to be available for me to use. Swapping between the panels, as we said, is that I can use the swap next. I can go directly to a panel by selecting like swap panel 1, for example, and that will take me then to directly the screen that I currently have open or that I'm interested in going to. In this particular case, since we haven't done anything, you can see all of the panels are exactly the same. We're on the primary menu panel for each one of the screen sessions that we currently have open. As before, if I want to terminate, I simply hit F3 to exit that ISPF session, and you can see that I can work my way right down until I end up with just the final session, or I exit ISPF completely. So these are going to be the options that we have available with respect to split screen, maintaining multiple sessions, and then being able to swap between those sessions. This concludes our look at how we can navigate. Basically, the options are going to be to choose a menu item, drill down until we get to the level that we want, or to be able to jump directly to the level that we want by using the nesting or the equal symbol for the jump.